shoulder, chest, the abs, who had better taper, all this jazz. But I feel like together, I beat them. I mean, that's not even what me, that's the judges think. So I'm not going off just saying whatever. I had to see the pictures when I go off stage, like how I looked. I was like, I didn't know how I looked. Everything was to me a surprise on stage. Even like me being Ryan Clark, I was like, hey, like, I didn't expect to do that. Hey, Jordan, come to Toronto, take second place.
Wait, he said that in text? He just texted you that out of nowhere?
Gee. No, he said it to me in person.
Was
He said it to me in person.
Was he joking? Was he smiling at all?
He's like, I was gonna pay Andre Ferguson to come out to the show and compete this down to third. I was like, okay.
He better be smiling when he's saying this.
I always tell people this: I don't say things that people have not said to me already. I don't just say things just to say it. And I felt like if I brought great conditioning, that my front could compare. Would it be the best?
Jordan Clark, men's physique pro, soon to be, hopefully in that 2026 season, men's physique Olympian is in the building. Super happy to have you here, bro. We've all been chatting about this interview for the last week or so. Thank you for your time. Thanks for coming on. I have Masters men's physique pro Aleem Bolton in the building. Aleem, what is going on?
Man, life is beautiful. Got Jordan on here now. We ready to hear, his plight and how he arrived, and all the stories and stuff surrounding him. Heard a little bit of drama there, but we'll get into that in a second. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Love it. And then I got another guy that you're probably familiar with, Jordan. We call him Avomp, and soon the whole men's physique world next year will know him as Avomp. We got the Australian voice of men's physique, Philip Naselli's in the building. Phil, what's going on?
Boys, what's happening, man? Hope you guys are all doing well. Jordan, lovely to have you on here, man. I know I've been following your journey for a while now, so to be able to jump on a call, speak to you face-to-face about all things life, bodybuilding, the works, man. And like Hart said, soon to be 2026 Mr. Olympian as well, man. So, yeah, happy to have you here, man, and looking forward to the chat.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Jordan, I'm gonna start this bad boy off. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know who you were, and you didn't really catch my eye until me and Phil were just looking at it. For the last hour, Jordan, we've been dissecting your Instagram. So, brother, it was the East Coast Pro. The East Coast Pro, and you being up there on stage, presenting yourself, amazing stage presence. I love your structure, bro. And then when you turn from the back, I was like, hold on. This is the type of back you can, it's already I believe, a really good back, but I think you have the genetic potential to have one of the best. I want to know, cause I don't have the best back. How do you get a back like that?
That's the one thing people ask me all the time. And I'm just like, I stick to my compound lifts, man. Like I literally test myself all the time in the gym. Like I get it. Like put this perspective, right? I did a side-by-side for my photos from last year competing to this year. Last year, had nothing wrong, no injuries from my back. I was able to train how I wanted to. I deadlift, do rack pulls, barbell rows, everything, dumbbell rows, all the gym rat shit. Oh, excuse my language.
We're YouTube, Instagram. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Good.
All the gym rat stuff, right? So, and this year, unfortunately, in January, I hurt my lower back. So I literally could not, I tweaked my L4 or something like that. So I literally could only stick to machines. I could max out the machines, and I tried my best to, do as much as I could. But when it comes to my look, I just look not as dense. The density just wasn't there. And I had my look at my photos from last year. I was actually 4 pounds lighter. So Pittsburgh this year, I was 200 pounds. Stage day. Show day. Last year at Pittsburgh, I was 196 pounds. So, and my back looked way more dense, like overall density as well for my overall physique, just looked a bit more fuller. And we didn't change anything. It literally was just the training changed. All the way, like I said, through the year, I was dealing with that all the way up until DC. DC, we started to feel a little bit better. And then for this prep, I had 21 weeks before East Coast Pro. So I was able to, in turn, be able to bring that training back because I healed up enough. And now I think I brought a bit more fullness this show and had a better look, but I still have a lot more work to do, honestly, in my opinion. Like I just deadlifted 585 for the first time since last year. And that was yesterday.
Yeah,
That was 2 days
welcome
ago.
back, brother. Welcome back to the club. Me,
I know.
Phil, Aleem, we've been doing it for what, last few months, boys, consistently, almost every day.
Yeah, every single
ev-
day.
Every
And
585.
has
Come on, what's that?
and everybody has different training stimuli.
Bro, that's
Everybody's different
insane.
when it comes to
Jordan, what I'm
training.
trying to say is that's
Yeah,
insane,
that
bro. The
weight is
fact
crazy,
Oh,
brother.
I
Bro,
appreciate
That weight is
I-
crazy.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we were literally just messing with, like, I saw the 585. How tall are you? And what's your weight cap?
I'm 6 foot, but Showtime I'm 5'11" and like a half. So my weight cap is 217.
Okay.
So I still have
217.
like
Oh, so
17 pounds of weight to put on for
wow. Dude,
yeah.
you got 17 pounds more muscle that you can pack on?
I'm on the Ben Quill arc right now.
Yeah,
Trying to
seriously.
fill out that weight cap. Trying to fill out that weight cap.
Jesus,
So
that's crazy.
So you go down, obviously you shrink because not having fat in your feet and all because of,
it was
yeah.
extremely painful for like I did pretty well in my reverse. So this whole month I've been walking on rocks basically. I've been trying to keep my weight in check and not, get crazy fat. Especially as my job I work at now, I do so much walking. I get like average 14,000 steps a day. So it's a lot.
What do you wear on your feet in order to, especially when you're at the end of prep and going into a show? What do you normally wear? Because I know when I'm on prep and I've lost all that fat, dude, literally, like you said, I feel like I'm walking on pebbles. I feel everything on the bottom of my feet. What are you putting on to protect yourself?
Listen, I'm like the Kevin Levrone route. I like just to torture myself for some odd reason. I have pretty good Nike Elite socks with cushions in them. I could put those on, walk around, but I just, regular socks and bare feet walking around. And I go to the gym, I wear Vans, of all things. So I'm like, all right.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Flat. Yeah. Super
Yeah,
flat.
flat. I'm just like, listen, I mean, besides like my cardio shoes which are nothing special, they're just standard, like actually Nike lifting shoes that I do for my cardio. But other than that, just regular standard Vans and bare feet.
Speaking of gym, I want to ask you, what's the split look like at the moment? Are we running a push pull leg? We got body part specificity at the moment. What are we doing?
Yeah, I do like a lot of body part specific. So I'll do like the standard like chest day, chest. Well, I'll switch it up every now and then. Actually, I've been doing my Mondays leg day. A lot of legs. Like I'm starting to hit legs again. That's one thing that also I missed out this prep. Like I said, I hurt my lower back, so back squats was just out of the question. So I didn't squat anymore. Like I used to have my squat was 525. So I'm trying to get back to that number. So we're working back up still a little bit. So not quite there yet, but at 405, a couple reps here and there for that. But yeah, right now I'll interchange chests or legs on Monday, back days typically Tuesday, Wednesdays shoulders, Thursdays repeat, and then on from there. But Friday I like to have it strictly for arms, and then also emphasize on the shoulders as well, since Tyler Mania did give me that critique this year at New York. He's like, work on the shoulders a bit. So that's what we're trying to do. That's what I did for this past show. East Coast was 3 days a week shoulders. Literally just trying to hammer them out. That's not my genetic strong suit. So that's one thing I really want to change for next year.
Do you go in more of a powerlifting style? Because I mean, the weight you're putting up is massive. Like when I saw 485 on that deadlift, I was like, dude, really? This is what we're doing? Men's physique, bro. This is not open. So my question is, do you prefer more of a powerlifting style versus, bringing down the weight, more reps, or do you just go like, and how many reps are you doing at a 585 deadlift and 5+ for squat?
Well, so I like to do like the power building style of training. And that's how I started out. Literally back in 2018 when I was in college. I had the red shirt when I transferred schools. So my homies, my boy Nathan, my boy Terrell at the time, we got together. Those were my actual training partners. Those who really got me into lifting, like bodybuilding, powerlifting style of training. And I was like, okay, we'll see where this goes. Then after that year, I started running track. So I was into the whole power building aspect all the way through college. I left college. I just like to lift heavy. So like, it can never hurt the workout because I typically, when I say power building, it's always just the first compound movement in the beginning of the workout, and then we have a bodybuilding aspect that just for the rest. That's really it. That's really it. It's nothing too crazy. I'll play around every now and then with like different, like I said, stimuli, time under like eccentric movements. Then we'll change up the reps. Sometimes we'll do a 3x3, and then we'll go down into our bodybuilding style sets, and then or we'll move up and we'll do something high. We'll do like 4 sets of 12 for 405 deadlift. We'll try that out. It's just like having a bit of fun, but also being smart, trying to progress in your strength all the while. After the first workout, it's going to be bodybuilding afterwards. So also just having that in the back of my mind, like, okay, let's manage this properly so you don't burn yourself out for the rest of your workout. And just getting in and getting out of the gym too. Try not to waste time because, people are like, oh, I trained with a couple open guys before, like nationally qualified open guys. And they're like, oh, we did 4 exercises. We're done. I'm like, no, like I want to do like 2 more. Like, oh, you just love the train. I was like, love the train. That's always been me. I've always been an athlete. Played multiple sports throughout my life. Like I got my pro card while being a collegiate track athlete. On my conference championships, I got my conference championships running hurdles, and then now I'm here going up to Universe trying to get my pro card. So that was like those were hand in hand working. I would literally get up in the morning, 6 a.m. at school, work out for an hour and a half on the dot, say, all right, guys, I'll see you. Take my bag and run to the track because everybody's getting to the track to for start track practice. Or in the evening, I would, if I couldn't make it in the morning because of classes or something like that for my schedule, I would typically we'll do track practice in the evening. I would do that. And then after track practice, I'll jog right over to the gym so I can finish up and eat my meals and get back. So we didn't meal prep in college either. So it was cafeteria food. We had to make that one work. Unfortunately, we had to make that one work. But we found the big chicken. We got the vegetables. It was pretty easy, especially during that time. It was like, like I said, 2018 to 2020 time, like COVID and everything like that. Mainly during the 2020, 2021 time. I was ending up one of my last years in college. I literally had to sit there and take 6+ plates of food and store it in my mini fridge. Everybody's like, how are you? I'm like, how are you getting this much food? I was like, you guys do realize we have takeout containers and you can get as much food as you want, right? So just keep going up and getting them. Like, I'll get breakfast and then lunch. I'll get 2 meals at lunch, pack it away. Then I'll get 3 more meals at dinner. And those were my meals for the day. So
when did you know bodybuilding was the route that you're going to take? Because I feel like a lot of people that get into the gym or the bodybuilding lifestyle, from what I've found, a lot of people have come from an athletic background. Like myself personally, I came from a soccer background. You've come from a track background. But when did you know that bodybuilding was the path that you wanted to pursue and you wanted to leave track behind you?
probably after my second show. So my second show was back in 2021. It was Eastern USA. That's where I won my overall at. Eastern USA's Bev Francis show. That's where Steve gave me the overall win for that show. And it wasn't necessarily, I felt like me going into the show where I'm like, I'm about to go kick everybody's ass. We're going to, take this show, this, that, and the third. I never, even if I have a great feeling I'm going to do well, I never walk in there trying to be too cocky. And that's always been my thing. Literally from that show, actually even from my first show I ever did, I came in, which was Atlantic States earlier that year in June. So I did both both NPC shows the same year. So 2021, I competed 2 shows. Atlantic States, I had a coach. Unfortunately, he did not show up to the show. He bailed on me that show, 18-week prep, and he just let it slide down the drain. I see him every now and then. He likes to try to talk to me, try to be cool, chum it up. I'm like, we're not friends. I don't know why we're talking. There's an unfortunate circumstance. And then, so the coach I have now, he was at that show. And he would always tell me, because we would go to the same gym, he's like, hey, if you ever need help, never push you, never trying to take me as a client. He just like, if you need help, just let me know. He knew who my coach was. And like I said, that situation happened. He didn't show up. Luckily, he was there at that show with his athletes. I didn't even know that he was going to be there. So when I showed up to that show and I had no tan, had no idea what a carb up was, I literally did peak week on my own, trying to figure out on my own. And all that. And on top of that, the best bodybuilding situation possible. I just got done talking to a girl. So like broke it off at everything. So I was like, oh, this is a great situation to be in, clearly. So he took me under his wing. I ended up getting fourth in my class at that show. That's the show Anthony Mantello did back then. The Atlantic State show. That's when he qualified. That's what the one he won the overall at for classic and men's physique. So I got fourth and behind him in that class. And then, like I said, fast forward to Eastern USA's. That's where I won my overall at. And that's where I had my coach at for the rest of the time. And we got that overall. And it just was never a thought of me going into there thinking like, oh, I'm about to win this show. This is going to be over. I'm like, clearly not everybody is there is natural. I was natural all the way through my NPC years and got my pro card natural. So it was what it was. And, definitely on a college student budget, I wasn't going to be dabbling into that anytime soon. I told myself anyway, if I was going to, I'll be like, I need to be 24, 25 to even get close to that. So like, I always had like a year. I was like, I need to be this old to do this. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. So when first of all, jumping hurdles says a lot about your personality type. I mean, if you know anything about track and field, the guys who jump hurdles, the men and women who jump hurdles, they're built different because you got to go up and jump and not have the fear of busting your face, especially in front of everybody during a track meet. So that's just a totally different level of face your fear and overcome. How did you transition, your experience being in front of crowds and jumping hurdles to giving such a great presentation on stage? Because you really present well when you're on stage. So was there like a direct correlation from track onto the stage with how you just present, or how do you get over your fear of stepping on stage?
So like, I hear what you say. Like, so for me, there wasn't a direct correlation when it came to my presentation, but just my mindset and understanding like, hey, like, listen, I used to run track since 8th grade. I was running track since 8th grade, running at Penn relays in front of 10,000 plus people. Not everybody's there for you, looking at you, but you got 10,000 people staring at you. I'm not a great public speaker. I'm not a great person. Like if I stepped on stage by myself to give a speech, like we're not talking about fluidity and it sounded all great and like I'm the president or something. But when it came to sports, it's just when you know what you're there to do, when you're there to do a certain thing and you practice for it. In the back of my mind, I'm like, do that and you'll be fine. Just do that and you'll be fine. When it comes to my men's physique posing. And that kind of transfer, like I said, into men's physique posing for me is like, you'll be fine. Just go up there, do what you need to do. You've been practicing. You're good. If I wasn't doing good in practice, then I wouldn't be comfortable on the stage. So when I got really good in practice, I'm like, okay, well, let's see how this transfers to the stage, and just being in that moment and just performing. That's all it is. It's performance. Like track and field, I perform. You got to perform well. You got to, be in the moment, for less of a better word, be clutch in the moment. So you just have to perform, literally just do your job. You're there to do a job. You practice hard, do your job. It's just people. At the end of the day, also just tell yourself, it's just people. It ain't gonna hurt. It ain't gonna hurt you. They ain't gonna jump on the stage and come at you. It's fun. Last thing, it's fun. If you don't want to, if you weren't having fun, then you're not gonna be comfortable on stage. A lot of people would do this for different reasons. I'm here because I want to have fun. This is a great sport. This is fun for me. Track and field was fun for me. I get the itch a lot of times. I got a bag full of spikes in my closet right behind me. I'm like, I want to go on the track and run, but that's not a good idea right now. So, I know the training, a lot of the training comes along with that. So I'm like, for me just to hop out and run again like that, like, yeah, we'll take a step back from that.
I think that's a good takeaway for a lot of amateurs or newcomers into the sport, because I know a lot of newcomers, they're always going into the sport hoping to win their pro card, and they completely forget about the fun aspect to it. The fact that you're going to the gym, the fact that, you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, you're doing things that 99% of the world isn't able to do, which is, for example, follow a diet for a couple of weeks, let alone get to a bodybuilding stage. And then I feel like there is a lot of fear with these people jumping on stage because, hey, we're all getting judged, we're getting critiqued. And just knowing that you're doing it for fun and you're just doing it because you enjoy the process is, like I said, some good advice to people kind of climbing up the ranks, whether they've jumped on a stage before or if they're still in the amateur ranks. And it's good to hear that you're still having fun doing it as well, man, because I feel like, when you get to the pro ranks, yes, I mean, it is a job. Yes, it is a career. But if you've still got that fun side of it and you're enjoying every step of the way, it makes the whole journey so much more enjoyable. But talking about shows, what's the plan for next year? We
Next
going?
year,
We attempting to qualify earlier in the year? We're going to do it later on.
I wish I was qualifying earlier in the year. I decided with my coach we're gonna, take a step back a little bit. We're gonna compete probably mid next year. I know the Olympia timeframe has moved up a month. So we know we have a tighter window, but probably around June, July, we'll start competing. Because especially when it comes to me just putting on some quality size, Tyler told me, he's like, hey, listen, don't put on too much size too fast. Don't put on too fast. I'm like, okay, we'll play like that. And then also, Bernadette was the last head judge at East Coast. She wanted me to do Pittsburgh. And I was like, as much as I want to do Pittsburgh, I can't. I know I need to put on size. And just, it's a real tall order. So I'm just going to really, pick my shows. And, that's what I planned to do when I came to East Coast. I was like, I really wanted to pick my show and see what I could do. And it worked out really well. So I was really happy with the outcome of that show. And every year so far, I've been progressing. So my pro debut year, of course, got the 16th places, didn't do so well. And the next year got all top 10s with a top 5 placing. And then this year didn't have a great start at Pittsburgh in New York, but who really was going to, consider what that lineup was. So, I mean, it's up for anybody to grab, of course. Even some people who didn't show up who were going to compete, I'm not even going to get into all that. But yeah, so even like I said, following up this year with a repeat placing at DC 5th, and then, getting up in the East Coast and, getting a 4th place was, wasn't something I expected at all. Taking me back to, like I said, the NPC universe for me. I really looked at my coach at Nationals and got in line with everybody else when they called us up and was like, so it's going to be a long day. He's like, yeah, it's going to be a real long day. I was like, so we'll see what happens. And I got my 2nd place, got my pro card that show. And then at this show, same fucking thing. It's going to be a long fucking day, and ended up getting my 4th place and got a better placing. So I was really happy with that.
Hey, guys, hold on 1 second. Let me let my dog over here.
I thought that was your hand for a second.
You thought that was my tail wagging? No,
I
he's
thought-
over here like jumping on me,
I
nudging
thought-
me. I'm like, dude, you're not part of the interview. Get out of here.
I thought it was hot. I thought it was hot in your house. I'm like, this guy's fanning himself off like this.
Sorry about that, gentlemen. Hey, Jordan, real quick, I wanted to ask you, you've competed on both West Coast and East Coast, correct?
No, just on the East Coast.
Just on East Coast. What do you prefer to compete at? Florida or Atlanta? Where do you go?
I mean, if I don't have a travel,
You're DC man, bro. Yeah. We gotta get
at this point, I'm a
back to
DC
back.
guy.
DC
guy,
yeah.
DC guy, Jersey guy. Listen, especially with East Coast being a new show and everything, that just adds a different show that's in my backyard, so easier to get to. Wherever show's easy to get to. I mean, Miami was fun when I did Miami. I was supposed to do Atlantic Coast this year, but I decided like, no, we'll just pull back because I know what my critiques were. I knew what my critiques were. And I'm just like, even though we had a great show, I'm like, going to that show and trying to win was going to be a bit far-fetched. And, we saw the repeat winner right there. So I was like, I knew what that was going to be. So at the end of the day, I'm like, let's just be smart here, like, and, put on the size that we need to put on.
So to piggyback my question, with this follow-up to that, do you prefer to go to shows that are more strategically like you use strategy to choose the shows that you go to, or do you look for the competition and you want to compete against the biggest and the best names out there? What's your preference?
Here's this one. Okay, so I don't care about I don't care about competition. I wanted to go against Aaron Banks at Pittsburgh. I wanted those looks. I wanted all the big name looks. I wanted everybody to pop out, show out, and everything. But me, a lot of those guys have great brand deals and money and stuff like that, the nice stuff. I don't have that. I still got a lot of stuff I got going on. Sally Mae wants her money every month as well, student loan money. So at the end of the day, I work 2 jobs right now. Back then wasn't working 2 jobs, but I was working more of a full-time job. Well, I work a full-time job now, but that I have a second job on the side, but I worked at a hospital, the children's hospital earlier this year. So I moved on from that job, and I have these 2 jobs now. But more or less, I don't mind going to whatever shows to compete against whoever. Like I said, this is fun for me, and we're gonna bring our best look the best way we can. Um, and like I said, I wanted to do Pittsburgh this year because I knew it was gonna be the Olympia lineup. I'm like, if I don't get to Olympia, at least I get to do this. So we'll see how this looks. But more or less, as well, I told Drew this as well. I'm like, there's a lot of shows this year I believe I could have won as well, even though I knew what I had to change. There's some guys who I beat this year who did other shows who won their shows. Um, and it's any given Saturday for anybody, clearly, in this division.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those things where it's just like, hey, these are the shows that are, help me in the best way. Everywhere I go, all the shows I compete at, I have family that lives there. I can stay with them. It's easy driving. Like Pittsburgh, okay, like, oh, it's a 5-hour drive. I'm like, I've been doing that for decades now, like with my family. My family's from Pittsburgh. I've been doing that drive for years. We don't fly there. We never flew to Pittsburgh ever. We always drive. I drove there plenty of times, like just me driving when I got older. So at the end of the day, I'm like, I've been doing that drive. That's easy for me. I know where everything is. I know where my family is. I have a place to stay. I know how to get around. It's comfortable. Miami was the furthest show I did, and I did have some family in Daytona, but of course that's further away. So I was a bit out of sorts for that one. And I didn't have my coach there either. So it was like, okay, this is like a new feeling for me. Not that I didn't love it. It was a great show. I had fun, but it was just a different feeling for me. And I just do what makes sense. And, if someone jumps into a show who's a big name, they jump into the show. It's not the end of the world. Shoot. Andre Ferguson was doing Miami that one year with us, and he ended up getting sick and everything like that. And he couldn't do that show, I was like, damn, that's a shame. And it wasn't like, oh, great. Like, this is me trying to move up place. Like, no, I felt bad, you know? So I'm like, this is like someone who I wanted to compete against, step on stage with. So I'm like, hey, like that sucks. But, like I said, it still was a fun show. And I don't really pick and choose really unless I came to the East Coast. I was like, okay, well, this is like right in my backyard. I got to do it. And, it was a new show at that as well. I'm like, hey, it's a great opportunity. Why would I not take it?
So it's safe to say that Jordan Clark is here for the smoke. He wants
Oh,
all the
yes.
smoke.
Yes. Yes.
All the smoke.
Yes. 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 All the smoke.
All the smoke. Let's
When I
go.
play, when you're a football player, you don't get to pick your schedule. When you run track, you don't get to pick what teams show up, what athlete's going to be on that team to run against. So why would I run against the people if I had to try to beat them anyway?
Exactly.
Like,
Nice.
it doesn't make any sense. Like, okay, and then you're like, oh, well, it's delusion if you think you're going to win. I'm like, if I win or not, it doesn't matter. A lot of people show up to shows and can't even compete that day. A lot of people don't make weight. A lot of people don't do this. A lot of people don't do that. Some people didn't make weight at East Coast and had to take a minute and take a step back. I'm like, it happens. So people didn't make weight at Olympia. It happens. So, why would I run from competition? Like, this is like, that's silly to me.
That's real. I love it.
Can I pause on that, boys? Go
Yeah,
ahead, Phil. Go ahead.
No, go.
Are you doing judges or am I doing judges?
For what?
You do judges.
I mean, I guess it's a version. I'm not really gonna do it. I mean, I do want to bring something up, bro, because like I said in the very beginning of this interview, Jordan, you caught my eye at the East Coast Pro. That's when I really saw, and I've probably seen your physique, bro, but something about what you brought that show when I saw, I was like, damn, who is this guy? And I immediately reached out to Aleem, Phil. I think one of them actually knew who you were, but they brought me up to speed. That East Coast Pro, I mean, you beat multi-time Olympian, pro show winner 2025, Ryan Clark. You beat multi-time Olympian, multi-time pro show winner out of Brazil, big name, who I love talking about, Emmanuel Costa, and you
Mm-hmm.
beat another multi-time show, multi-time Olympian, pretty big name. At least it's growing for sure. I mean, 2024, what, 14, 13, 15th place. You beat a Drew Cullen. Why'd you beat Drew that day? And what happened after you beat him?
So what happened that day? More or less, it's just like I attribute to this as like it was interesting. So before the show, Drew said I had second call out abs. He said it to Ryan.
Where do you say? Where do you say this
Chris
at?
Barr.
PR?
He said no. He said to Chris Barr actually.
Okay.
At Animal Paradise when we were 1 week out before the show. I was like, I took no offense to it. I was like, oh, okay, and laughed about it. I was like, all right, no worries. The one thing I said though is Nick Walker asked this question. He told me, "How you gonna beat Drew?" It wasn't a question of beating him. I just said what I feel like I had something that was better, not overall package, everything like this. I said, "Hey, I feel like I have a better back pose," which he said. He said himself online on NPR. He said this. Him, Alex Toplin, and Aaron Banks, all three. Tyler Mannion co-signed that earlier last year and said you have a top 5 back whatever show you do. So I always tell people this: I don't say things that people have not said to me already. I don't just say things just to say it. So all that being said, I just feel like I have a better back pose, and I felt like if I brought great conditioning, that my front could compare. Would it be the best? No. There's always a scale here. There's a scale, ratios and everything like that. What looks better, what versus what, who beats who here, who beats who there by margins. So at the end of the day, I said I could compete in the front pose, and if I bring my conditioning how I want to bring my conditioning, and then my back pose is I just feel like I have a better back. Didn't say his back was bad. Didn't say anything. I actually said that he looked really, really good at Hurricane. And I said I feel like he should have beat Ben Quill, but that's another story. But yeah, so that's how I feel like I just beat Drew. It's just I beat him in the back, and I brought enough front to compare. Was it my front necessarily 100% better than his? Yeah, you could pick apart every little aspect: shoulder, chest, abs, who had better taper, all this jazz. But I feel like together, I beat him. I mean, that's not even what me. That's the judges think. So I'm not going off just saying whatever. I had to see pictures when I go off stage, like how I looked. I was like, I didn't know how I looked. Everything was to me a surprise on stage. Even like me being Ryan Clark, I was like, hey, like I didn't expect to do that. Ryan beat me at Pittsburgh, and I brought from Tyler Mannion's mouth, my best conditioning so far at that show. So, and that was compared from last year when I weighed less, and I feel like I had a great look. I just didn't have the proper core conditioning because I wasn't actually training core last year, which was a stupid thing to even think. I was like, oh, look at me. I don't train core. I have good abs. Like, oh, no. You have no core control when you go through your transitions and your stomach moves. And it's like, it sucked to hear. But yeah, didn't expect to beat Ryan because he beat me. Didn't expect to beat Drew because Drew actually technically beat me at Miami. I mean, not technically, he did because he placed higher than me at Miami. When I was there, I got 10th, and I think he got was it 7th or 8th, I believe. But that's the thing right there is I told people, it was like me and Drew when we versed each other, we're never far off. We're only a couple places away from each other. That's just something to put into the ether. Like I'm not saying like, hey, that means I could beat him. Doesn't mean like anything under the sun. But it's like I said, it's any given Saturday, so it just happened to be what it was that Saturday, and that's what the judges thought.
So just understanding for the casual fan, you initially spoke with Nick Walker, knowing that you were going to go up against Drew. You
Mhm.
sat down with Nick. Nick says, "Hey, Jordan, how are you gonna beat Drew?" You answered, you responded with a very realistic depiction of what you felt your physique had that was a value add for you being on stage versus what he had. And you felt when you look at both front pose, back to front, stage presence, conditioning, and being able to actually hold your poses and not start to fade out and being full, when you compare all of that gumbo of what it takes to be a great men's physique athlete, you felt that you'd be able to edge him out. You said that. He took offense to it of some sort and then went on NPR and tried to call you out. Is that
Yeah,
right?
basically, because put it like this, I mean, and when Nick asked me that question, Drew was right next to him.
Mm.
Pillow, actually, let's kill this whole thing for everybody in men's physique, whoever followed that situation, because I got my notifications blown up after the show because of that situation.
I remember hearing this. I mean, I remember seeing it. So that's why I'm like, for the casual fan who doesn't know, yeah, what
Mm.
happened there?
Put it like this: before DC, so what was the show after DC Pro? That was Toronto or Chicago? What was that? It was a Sunday show.
I think it was Toronto, right? Yeah, it was
Yes.
Toronto, if I'm not
He
mistaken.
just yeah. So he said to me, "Hey Jordan, come to my U. We're friends. I don't take the little jabs serious. It's just fun and games. Hey Jordan, come to Toronto, take second place."
Wait, he said that as a
Wow.
text? He just texted you that out of nowhere?
Jeez.
No, he said it to me in person.
Was he
He
was he
said to
Damn.
me in
joking?
person.
Was he joking? Was he smiling at all?
He's like, I was gonna pay Andre Ferguson to come out to the show and compete this down to third. I was like, okay. I mean, like,
He better be smiling when he's saying this, Drew.
it's true. He know it's true. He sat here and told me to come out there and take second place to him. I'm
Drew
like,
Larry Bird Cullen out here.
damn near was gonna pay for my flight. Damn near gonna pay for my flight for me to come out there and say, oh, I'm gonna beat you anyway. Like, no, it's NPR. He didn't even have me in the conversation for top 6 at East Coast anyway. So I'm like, he's like, I beat everybody at Olympia, and Jordan's not even a factor. But here you are talking about me, bringing me up if I'm not even in the top 6 conversation. Okay, whatever that means.
It's gotta hurt. I
So
mean, I'm putting myself in Drew's shoe. Drew Cullen, I've had the history I've had in the league, and someone like you in his mind beats him, it could rattle you a little bit, for sure.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, he's
and
so competitive. I know Drew. I've known Drew for so long. He's so competitive. So when this happens, bro, it creates a fun stir. Like, this is a very healthy drama rivalry in the division that should be talked about. Like, I think the fans would appreciate knowing that whenever Drew and Jordan go on stage, like, it's on. You know what I
It's
mean? It's
on, yeah.
it's like it's battle on that stage. It's fun, bro.
mhm.
We're not on here
This,
talking
yeah,
shit. We're speaking how it is, and it's cool that you're opening up and letting everyone hear about this. If Drew wants to hop on, we'd love to have Drew. Have him talk about it.
Absolutely.
and that's the thing too, right? Is when it comes down to that, right? I don't, like I said, I never minded the rivalry. I told Drew to come out to the show and let's do the like do I'm like, bro, I want to compete against you. Like, let's do a show. And he was at that time, like I said, he was getting ready for Toronto, so he wasn't doing any, like, he wasn't doing do New York, of course, or Pittsburgh or DC with me. So I'm like, all right. And then the last minute, he decides, like, I just got annoyed with the whole situation because he always says, Jordan, I tell you, you got to pick your shows. You got to pick your shows. This down to third. Okay, okay. I pick a brand new show nobody know about in my backyard, this down to third. And then now all of a sudden, before Hurricane, actually, it doesn't matter. I said before Hurricane or after Hurricane, he told me, oh, by the way, I'm gonna do East Coast. Actually, no, my fault. It was before Hurricane. Actually, I believe it was before the Olympia too. He said he was gonna do East Coast Pro as well. I was like, I didn't sit here and say fuck you. I didn't say like, yo, you're a piece of shit. I didn't say none of that. I was like, okay, bet. Say a word. That's it. Didn't huff and puff about it. Didn't sit here and stop talking to him for like days upon days. Didn't sit here and try to dodge him. Nothing. Nothing but open arms, like, hey, let's go. Let's have some fun. That's it. I was actually shit. I was gonna sit here, mind you, NPR episode already happened. I still was gonna say, hey, let's get a hotel room together. That's down to third, all that jazz. Share a hotel room for the show. Nothing, like, because he was driving from um from Hamilton to come up there. So I was like, why not just get a hotel room together? Like, I don't care. Like, shit, like, whatever. But I didn't bring it up. I didn't
He
bring
got
it
in
up
his
because I
head,
was like,
bro. Are you playing mind
yeah,
games with that shit?
I,
He ain't want a room with you.
Hey, right. We're gonna see Jordan and Drew on stage doing the Kai Green, Phil Heath arm
Yeah.
tussle.
The arm battle.
Totally.
Face the curtain. They're like, dude.
I'm
Wow.
gonna be I'm gonna be Phil Heath smiling though.
That's it.
But yeah, so and then even like being Emmanuel Costa, didn't expect that to happen at all. First time even seeing him ever in person. So I was like, oh shit, like I mean he was and too, he didn't make the weight cap apparently during weigh-ins. He came back, he made weight, but at the beginning he didn't make weight. So he clearly he's maxing it out. And he looked really good. I thought he looked really good. I thought everybody looked really good. So like once again, bringing it back, I didn't expect to win. I mean, not win, but I didn't expect to do as well as I did.
I'm curious to know, have you heard from Drew, or have you reached out to Drew after the show? Have you heard anything since, or?
Drew after the show said, this like we were supposed to go out to dinner after the show. Actually, we planned this. We are supposed to go out to dinner after the show, and not by him saying it. I wanted to go out to dinner with him after the show. I planned this way ahead of time. Like, hey, let's go out to dinner after the show X, Y, and Z. After he told me he was doing the show, so he was like, okay. He said he had left his dogs, didn't have a sitter, so he had to go back after the show. So I was like, all right, tell me that, after we off stage. So I was like, okay, I believe you, no worries. And so I just went out with my girlfriend and my boy Kevin, and we went to Cheesecake Factory, got some food. But he said next week, he's like, we'll keep in touch and, do something, go out to eat, probably get some food. I was all right. He didn't hit me up at all. Didn't expect him to, actually. He hasn't been back to my gym. He probably went 2 weeks for the next 2 weeks, but then after that, I haven't seen him back at my gym since. So he has a bit of a drive, so I kind of got on my nerves because I was trying to train with him this year a lot more. And I would always drive to PSA to train with him up in Hamilton, New Jersey, which is like a half-hour drive for me. And then when he came down here, driving from where he is, that's 44 minutes. So he would always complain about coming down to me. I'm like, it's a half hour, but the next thing you know, you're driving past me, go further down to another gym, and that's 44-minute drive. He was doing that like every day, getting ready for this show. So I was like a bit confused. I was like, all right, well, it is what it is. Even before Hurricane, same thing with Hurricane. When he was doing that. So I was like, all right. So if anything, I was like, hey, open to having a conversation and, us communicating again, but he hasn't reached out to me not once. He doesn't like none of my posts on social media. I liked a couple of his. I mean, he liked one or two of mine, but that was it. Like, it's been a whole month. Like, that's it. I post every day, like damn near twice a day. So, not that social media matters, but back to the whole text thing, he hasn't really reached out to me at all. And he doesn't really reach out to me in general. But more or less when I see him in the gym, we'll talk every now and then and when I get to see him. But other than that, no, we have not talked.
Did he ever give you your props and say, great job after you beat him?
He said good job. And his girlfriend Maria as well. No, Maria was really cool. She said, great job on golf stage. I get it that he was upset and he's really hard on himself and everything. So I understood that aspect of it. The only person who I had an issue with, actually, more than if with Drew, because more or less it wasn't really the show drama. It was really what he said on NPR, which upset me. Ryan Clark. This is the issue with Ryan Clark. If I sit here, I look you in your face and try to dap you up on stage, off stage, and backstage 3 separate times, and you just sit here and ignore me, like, I don't fuck with that. That's mad fucking weird. Mad fucking weird. I literally sat here on stage, tried to dap him up during initial comparisons. No one's getting compared yet. No prejudging, no nothing, no finals. This was during initial comparison. Tried to dap him up. He doesn't see me. Okay, let that one go. Cool. Go backstage. Try to dap him up. He's not tall. I mean, I'm like, I put my arm down here to give him a fist pound. He sits here, just walks right by me. Okay. Like, you were looking down, like your eyes are open though. He's like this. I'm like, you're looking like this. I'm like, I put my hand in your direction. You didn't even take a second to look at me. The third time I try to dap him up, he ignores the hell out of me again. It was blatantly obvious. So I was like, all right, bro. Like, if you're going to sit here and be like disrespectful at this point, it's kind of doing the most. I get it. You didn't get the placement you wanted, but shit, like, have some, you know, you're doing a Sean Ray Classic next weekend, literally your show. What are you going to do? He won that. I'm like, so what do you did like 10 shows this year, 9 shows this year. Like, I think you would have a little bit of, you know, more composure when you don't place well. A little bit. And the only thing that got on my nerves too is like before we got glazed and to head on, like to get in line to get on stage and everything like that, I'm posting a video of me doing classic physique poses, and then he proceeds to look over my shoulder, sees me posting the videos, like, oh, you should do classic. I'm like, I mean, well, yeah, if I ever got top 10 at the Olympia, I would switch over. But considering I know I have like 17 pounds to put on for men's physique, and if I went to classic, I would have even more weight to put on. So I'm like, yeah, I got my weight cap to fill out more. Like, we'll see how that is. Like, you know, I'm 27, about to be 28. Like, I still have a lot of time in this sport left. So if I ever got top 10 at the Olympia, then, you know, maybe I might switch over. He's like, oh, that's a tall order. And he's like, putting all that weight on might not look right. I'm like, how does that make any sense? How does me not putting any weight on when I have 17 pounds to put on? How would that look bad? Like, but you're telling me to go to a classic physique, the epitome of aesthetics. Like, it has to look right. So why would I? It just made no sense to me. So I had to get up and walk out the room because I was like, that just pissed me off. I'm too dehydrated for this shit. Like, I'm like, listen, that was the first thing. And then next thing you know, after that, he didn't want to dap me up 3 separate times. I was like, all right, bro, I'm tapped out.
Jordan, you know what the issue is, bro? You can't be beating all these top guys and trying to be friendly seconds after the show's over. I'd be pissed too, bro. I ain't dapping you up. You just smoked my ass. I'd be pissed. I'd be like, nah, fuck you.
They're like, who's this guy who just came up and just whooped
Yeah.
ass and took names?
Yeah,
Like, who is
you need to
this?
keep
Who
to
is this
yourself and go
Jordan
to dinner,
Clark?
dog.
And then wants a fist pump on top of that. That's the
Right?
that's the
Yeah.
stamp.
Right. Like, yeah, I just beat you. Dap me up for it. Yeah, I just beat you.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But
Oh my
you know,
God.
there's a tribute to put like this too, right? Alex Rogers and Jason Hume, like, you know, of course, you know, they played better than Nick and Drew. I mean, than Drew and Ryan. But the first time I met them, really, really nice, really, really nice guys. I really messed with them. Shoot, before you even got off stage, Alex was like, "Yo, bro, like I really like your back pose. Like I want your back. I'm seeing your journey. This down to third." I was like, "Damn!" Like I didn't expect them to say shit. Like I was like, "You're second place. I'm fourth place." I'm like, all right, dang. Like, but for him to like be humble and just give me a compliment that I didn't expect. I thought he looked fucking amazing. He had an amazing back pose as well. And I knew it was gonna be a really tough order trying to beat him because I know like his structure is phenomenal. Same thing with Jason. I was like, I felt like I had a little bit of chance against Jason. I felt like a little bit I had a chance, but he took the cake the first time me seeing him in person. He looked fucking amazing as well. And the Cisco guy, he's huge. He's huge, huge condition, in shape, young guy too. He's like 23. So those what was it? Those Brazilian no, he's not Brazilian. He's
Paraguay.
Paraguay. Yeah,
Yeah, you let Hart tell it. He'll.
yeah. Hard knows.
What do you call it, Hart? Paraguay.
Paraguay. Paraguay genetics are top tier shit.
Yeah.
He's definitely, everybody's like, because I was online talking to them about it. They're like, like, is he bigger than Banks? I was like, he's like the same size. Yeah, the same size as Banks. Like, he has a real dense back too. I'm like, to be honest, the only thing I can see Banks beating him in is posing his shoulders. Yeah, posing in his shoulders. The kid has a chest. Kid has diced out abs. Has good abs at that too. Has a wide back and density and conditioning, and he has wheels. I mean, you can't really, like, that's everything right there. Like I said, Banks just has the Death Star delts, saying it just like Corey Morse. So that's just a different thing. But you know, like I said, that kid's young. I'm pretty sure if he has the Banks weight cap, I'm pretty sure he has a lot more weight to put on as well. I don't think he's at his weight cap at all. needs a lot more weight to put on.
Is
Yeah.
Francisco 6 feet and plus? He is?
Yeah, he's taller than me.
Wow.
He's
Okay.
like 6'1", like 6'1.5", maybe.
Yeah, he's got a lot then. He's got a lot of weight to put on. You could tell.
Definitely was looking up and I was like, oh shit. Who's this kid with braces over here but freaking dice his shit?
I'm just looking him up. I think this year was his first real season
Yeah, he only
in
did
the
2
pro
shows.
circuit.
Yeah.
So he's
He
done
did.
really well. Like 2022, 2023, I think he got his pro card. Then 2025, he's come out of the gates just smoking
Blazing.
everyone.
Yep.
It's crazy.
You know, like the Dominican pro. Yeah. So Dominican Republic Pro or something like that. Then
then
he
the
did
Atlantic
East
Pro.
Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he did Atlantic. Yeah. The one back to back.
Yeah, he's come out of the gates firing, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So Jordan, what is the next step after men's physique for you? Are you going to move into classic? Are you going to move into a different field of business altogether? Kind of what's your trajectory look like?
Well, right now, actually, developing my own clothing brand right now. I'm a graphic designer as well. So that's what I went to school for. That's what I got my degree in. I do graphic design work, design clothes. I paint, everything, draw, all that under the sun. Videography. Not crazy on the videography and photography right now. Just really focus on the graphic design aspect. So a lot of computer design work. But design my own clothing brand, fitness oriented brand, just like dark sports style. And then on top of that, praying this goes well, but gonna have a board short line. Should be come out with a board short line next year. So hopefully got some great designs. I'll send y'all some images, see what y'all think. Sent to a couple people already, so like they like them. So we'll see how that looks. But yeah, most definitely.
Do you have a name?
The clothing brand name is I'm deciding if I was to go underneath the same name as the clothing brand, but the clothing brand name is Forthcoming Clothing. Future of clothing, basically. So something forthcoming clothing. And yeah, like I said, we'll see if I put the shorts underneath that name or not. We'll see, but most likely they will be. But I'm still playing around with things. We'll see how I feel.
All right. Love it, man. Love it.
And also we have a THC beverage. I'm trying to get put into stores. It's in
Christian Guzman. Damn.
I was gonna say this guy's busy. Jeez.
Yeah.
2 jobs.
Guess my mom has a THC company, THC brand, and we actually have a dispensary that's being built in Atlantic City across from a Hard Rock Hotel. So 2-story consumption lounge. So it's gonna be right across from, like I said, a Hard Rock hotel casino. Gonna be the second biggest consumption lounge in the state of New Jersey. And I design all of our beverages. So hold on one second. I actually got a picture of it right here. So this is the THC one. This is our collaboration with Whoopi Goldberg. Got her
Nice.
autograph there.
Dope.
So we have our Cedric the Entertainer one we're trying to get right now. So we're still working on it. But then we have a CBD line as well. But this is our popular one, Euphoria. It's our pina colada blend. But we're going to make it THC as well. We're pushing all of our CBD ones into THC flavors also. So yeah, I design all these. That's kind of my thing right now. Actually, I have another call later on with another company because I do freelance work. So if they want someone through my mom, my mom sent them my way. So they're like, they need some work done. So they asked about who did our stuff and she liked me. So, well, I got another call actually. I got to do that with them discussing what they want to do with their drink.
Bro, you're going to have to send some of those drinks our way. We're going to send a pack, a couple of cases to Australia.
Yeah, listen.
What's the
logistics sending it? Yeah, I was going to say, what's the logistics sending them to Australia? If not, I've got to fly over to the States to try them out.
I don't think there's any crazy logistics. Shoot, I don't believe so. But at the end of the day, I got couple of them. So I work at Optimal. I work for Optimal Nutrition as well. So supplement shop here in Jersey. That's one of my sponsors for all my supplements and everything. They carry some in 2 of their stores. We have some of these drinks also as well. Some dispensaries up in New York. They kind of got pulled because of some regulations, but when those regulations change back, they'll be fine selling them out there again. And we have some, I believe, in Jersey and PA as well. Yeah.
Well, bro, if you want the millions and millions of fans worldwide to know about your drinks and see the 3 of us getting bent, drinking your drink, and it be comical, send them our way. Yeah, we
I
got
got
you.
you.
Yeah,
I got you. I got you. I'll let you guys know in a minute. I definitely will. Definitely will. Freaking it's called Pure Genesis as well. The company's called Pure Genesis.
Pure Genesis.
And the
Nice.
drink aspect of it is Genesis Infused. So that's the name of the beverage brand on Instagram.
That's hot.
Genesis Infused.
That's hot, dog.
Same color as purple. Like, listen, Heart got purple all up in the background and everything. Listen, this is perfect for him right here. This is perfect for him.
We just need him sipping it throughout the call, I reckon.
Oh, so the flavor
We
of
see his eyes
the
start getting dimmer and dimmer and
I
dimmer.
know.
And
the flavor
funnier.
of this
And he
one
starts
is
getting funnier. He's already hysterical. Oh my God.
this one is our half and half, so Arnold Palmer flavor. So half tea, half tea, half lemonade.
Ooh, nice. That's got my name on it, I reckon. That sounds up my alley.
Yeah, typically when I bring them out I did some like after New York Pro, I went out to Wolf Fitness in North Wales, Danny Swole's gym, and I set up a table. I set up a table there. Oh, my fault. No, I went to Guy Cisternino's gym. My fault. Went to Guy Cisternino's gym, Muscle Inc. in Bethlehem, PA, and set up a table there as a vendor. Sold some beverages. A lot of people loved them. Danny loved it. Went out to Danny's gym after that. Oh, and then Guy loved them as well. I left some for him because I know he smokes. So, and then after that, went to North Wales and went to Danny Swole's gym, Wolf Fitness, and gave him some as well there. So he loved it as well. So definitely he drank half of it. As big as Danny is, a 260, class of physique bodybuilder. He drank half of it. He was like, I didn't realize how strong it was until I got upstairs.
I was gonna ask, is 1 can enough? Is it a 1 can a day type thing, or can you go with 2?
If you, I mean, guys who smoke pretty often said it definitely because some people vary. Some people smoke a lot and then okay, they'll smoke, but they're like, oh, let me drink it to keep them high, or if they'll. So I really push in that recovery aspect. The recovery aspect for this. So THC really is helpful in recovery, keeping everybody relaxed. A lot of coaches also I know don't like their athletes smoking on prep. So this is another thing as well. So this is just mainly for stores. This is for, because we're also trying to work out something with Total Wine right now as well to get sold in there. So these Total Wines, dispensaries, online sales, stuff like that. I have one personally called Recovery that I'm developing. I already have the imagery done for it, but it's called Recovery. It's going to have more of all the stuff bodybuilders like for for relaxing, stuff like that. And it's probably have ashwagandha in there, L-theanine. Of course, THC is going to be in there, and we'll kind of play with a couple other things as well. But those are the two things that come off the top of my head: the L-theanine and ashwagandha. Things help you relax. Because I know people are also saying, "Why don't you have BPC 157?" And I was like, it's going to dilute it. Unfortunately, it is going to dilute it. So that won't be in there. No peptides like that. But like I said, we'll play around with some other things to see. But the flavor is going to be called a Cosmic Root Beer.
I like it. I like
Yeah,
Cosmic
so.
Root Beer. Let's go.
Mhm.
Do you get the munchies after drinking it?
You do get a bit hungry. Yeah, you do get a bit. That's why I don't drink them terribly on prep. I'll drink a couple of them here and there to help me sleep. And it's only a half. I only drink half because I'm like, I won't go to bed. I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night, with my trinsomnia and be like, oh, let me go get some food in my fridge.
Yeah.
while I'm 6 weeks out from a show. Let me go do that.
Not what you want to do, bro, unless you're trying not to win.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Unless you're trying not to win. Exactly. That's what that's the funny part is that's what was killing Drew. I sat here, was eating Buffin muffins at the Animal Paradise thing. He's like, you can't eat that. What are you doing? I'm like, coach says I can. Saturday check-ins, I'm at my weight. I'm like, I'm good to go. I'm good to go. I don't know about you, but I'm good to go. I can go ahead and eat what I
See,
please
I've seen
right
those
now.
muffins everywhere these days.
I was
Have you?
talking about I was working. Okay.
No, I was going to say, I've seen those muffins anywhere. Are they any good?
Oh, muffin. Oh, phenomenal. You can't beat the macros, and on top of that, it's mainly it's got a lot of protein in it. So like 27, 28 grams of protein per muffin, and typically they're not high in fat. I think the most I've seen was like 14 to 15 grams of fat for one of them, but other than that, some of them are like a couple grams of fat, like 1 to 2 grams of fat. It's not crazy high, and of course it's carbs. But at the end of the day, I use it for specific things, not just to, you just eat it to eat it. I'm eating it for pre-workout as well. Like when I ate it, I was going to go do my workout right after that. So,
So you burn it right away.
Yeah, I'm burning it, but in the right way. Exactly. Trying to keep some fullness, because that's another thing so with this prep for East Coast, I've been eating the most protein I ever eaten. So I eat up to like 220 grams of protein for all my meals. So I'm like, listen, I was like just burning, because I'm like, I still came in around the same weight, but I feel like I was a bit fuller. I maintained a lot more muscle. So from Pittsburgh, I feel like I was definitely conditioned, but I was flat, really flat. And so we were really, because now that I was really worried about my weight cap and see what's going on with that, because at the end of the day, I had to get height and weighted earlier this year, which I shouldn't have been, because they took my height and weight 3 times last year, and I was good to go for this year. And the IFBB just didn't have my information. It happens. So I was like, all right, cool. I called them up saying, hey, by the way, I'm getting heighted and weighted at these shows. I should only be weighed. They're like, okay, and they fixed it. They fixed my account and everything, and I was good to go for the rest of the shows. But yeah, I was definitely a little worried about my height and weight. I was like, oh wait, that's why I figured out too. I could be 217 this year. I thought, I was like, okay, 5'11" and a quarter, I can only be 209, which I still have a lot more weight to put on. But now I was like, oh wait, I could be 5'11" and a quarter, and up can be 217.
We got
Say
room.
less.
We got room.
Yeah, got a lot of room. Got a lot of room. So I was excited about that. So we didn't have to worry about, going to these shows, worry about weight. Like we weren't freaking out about it. And then the one thing when I came about to DC, I didn't even like my look at DC. It was my second worst look of the year. But that was on me. But I was dealing with a lot of stress. Like, so the issue I had with NPR before DC after DC is that when they speak, I told them, like, at least like bring the athletes on if you're going to come at them like sideways a little bit on their look. I get critiques for one thing, but you were like, oh, you're tired. Aaron Banks said I should fire my coach. I was like, now you're crossing the line. And Alex Andrew asked me on the side, like, oh, how'd you feel about that? I was like, well, I got sidelined. I mean, I got blindsided.
Yeah, blindsided.
Yeah, I got blindsided. And on top of that, like, you didn't even ask me a single question. All y'all follow me on Instagram. Drew, you have my number. Why didn't no one call me and ask me that question? Why am I getting a screenshot saying, oh, we talked about you on NPR? Oh, fuck, if y'all talk about me on NPR? Like, if y'all going to sit here and try to violate, then say something like that. Trying to say I should fire my coach. I feel like this. I said this on Line Talk the other day. I'm like, maybe what's it called? Maybe Aaron Banks should fire Cuts, because at the end of the day, you've been digressing, losing to a guy who coaches himself, and you losing to Ali Bilal multiple times now. What was that saying? Like, there's levels, right? You're at this level. I'm at this level. So I'm working shit out, this, that, and the third. I'm not at your level. So you at your level should fire your coach, because you've been digressing at that level, and that's not good. So at the end of the day, I'm like I said, I don't start nothing. I just finish it. And on top of that, I don't say nothing unless provoked. So I'm like, don't sit here and tell me to fire my coach if you ain't going to want to hear nothing back. That's it. So, and like, put it like this, right? So we had the launch. So before DC, Thursday, I had a launch party for this beverage. I had to drive up to New York that day with a photographer, my boy Kevin, bring him to a photo shoot, bring him to the shoot for our expo. So we had an expo. We got there at 11, expo at 2:30. Had to be there for that. Had to take apart the whole expo area, which is about 30 yards long, 30 yards long, probably, what was it, 20, 30 yards across. So a good amount of space. So I had to take down poles, seats, tables, everything like that, walk around the expo. There was a problem getting him in, and we had to figure that situation out. And then I had to drive in rush hour traffic in New York to PB Brasserie Steakhouse and set up for the after party for Whoopi Goldberg to come in with all this media and all this stuff going on. We had about 100+ people at this after party in New York City during the daytime. It's summertime. It's hot. I'm tired. I'm literally 2 days out from a show. I have to then, after that ends at 8:30. So from 4 to 8:30 is when that event was when that event ended. And then I had to then go to Iron Punisher Gym, get my last lift in, got that in. It didn't end up leaving that until 11 p.m. and then had to drive 4 hours to Virginia the same night.
Man.
And I had to then share drive because Kevin's trying to stay awake because he was doing photography work, literally working because my mom hired him for both events. And then he also trained with me afterwards. So we're working. He's been working all day, just like me. And then we have to drive all the way down 4 hours to Virginia and get to my uncle's house. And lo and behold, the next day anyway, it's not, it wasn't in Alexandria like it is every year. It was in Manassas. So my uncle's in Alexandria. So I had to drive then another hour to Manassas for check-ins, check in, do my tan, everything, then drive back home. And then the next day for the show, drive another hour to the show again.
Man.
And then, so they were like, "Oh, Jordan looks tired." And I was like, "Yeah, I was."
This is why.
And also on top of that, also a full-time job. Well, I had my full-time job during the whole week before the show. I'm like, yeah, I am freaking tired.
Wow, man. Wow.
So,
What we
but I'm like,
do.
this will all been cleared up if someone just simply asked the question. That's why I told them, like, y'all need to at least have the top 5 on, top 4 on. If you have any questions about who looked like what, this down to third, just so y'all don't talk crazy, because then there's simple explanation sometimes. Sometimes some people just miss the mark. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, too, if you're gonna tell me to fire my coach and you this down to third, I'm like, shit. You used to ask a question.
Glad you got on this show so you can answer it. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, listen, yeah.
Hart, what you got? You got a couple?
No, my questions have been answered. You guys got any finishing ones for Jordan?
You want to go, Phil?
No, you've answered all mine as well. So
I got one for you. Jordan, what has been the most challenging time in your journey? What and how did you overcome it? How did you peel your
Well,
way out of it?
Well, put like this is one of the most challenging times was actually for the show. So 3 weeks out from the show, I didn't know I was going to be able to even do East Coast. Me and Hart talked about that situation. To be honest, I'm not comfortable sharing it right now, but it was very, 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 very not good for me at all. Wasn't going to be able to do the show. And then 2 weeks out, my aunt passes away. So I had to, and then so that being also said, I didn't have a say in another situation. So to be honest, and it's hard, I didn't get to tell this to you. That situation as well, I almost couldn't do the show because this funeral was either going to be literally the first, or it was going to be the 1st of November, the show, or the 8th the next week. So I had no idea what day it was going to be. And they just so happened to pick the 8th. I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God. Twice I almost couldn't do the show. And also top of that, then when my aunt passing away, that was really tough for me because that was my grandmother has 3 sisters. So my grandmother passed away over a decade ago. So she's like one of the last 2 aunts I have. That's basically like my grandmother, basically, and we're extremely close. And then so that the house I go to when I go to Alexandria for DC, that's her son. So my uncle Mark. So I stay with them. So that was tough. And then she actually came to DC last year. She was actually able to make it out to DC, the DC Pro show, and got to see me go on stage. I got a couple pictures of her with me as well at the show. So I was really, really happy about that. I love to involve my family whenever I do these shows. Like, hey, like come out to this show, come out to that show, family. I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Everything just as make it an event, because sometimes when I do these shows, I don't get to make it to family reunions and other functions. You know, that's a part of bodybuilding. We got to sacrifice some things sometimes, and it's unfortunate. You know, I miss some of these things. And so I like to try to make up to my family best way I can sometimes. I'm like, hey, like I'm here. I'd love to see you guys if you can make it X, Y, and Z. And then 3 days out from the show from East Coast, my other aunt, so my dad's sister, who's extremely close to me as well, um, she ended up having a seizure and being in the hospital. So it was just a whirlwind of emotions the past 3 weeks leading up to that show. And then hearing about that NPR episode really just ticked me off another way. And to hear what it was about and what I was when people communicated to me what it was about, I was like, this is the childish shit I be talking about. People need to stop getting their panties in a bunch about bullshit and actually sit here and, you know. And another issue is that Drew knew about one of those things, the first thing. Drew knew about the first thing. So I'm like, I'm going through some stressful ass shit. And so you want to sit up here and take the time now to throw jabs at me because you let sticks and stones hurt you. I mean, you let words hurt you as well. So I'm like, this is like beyond me at this point. So I'm like, I don't ask everybody to have empathy. I don't ask everybody to, come to my rescue every 5 seconds. But that's why I gave respect to Ben Quill, because Ben Quill, when I told him I was doing the show, he looked at my photos, the same photos and videos that they did on NPR, literally the same exact video. And he sat up here was like, Ben Quill don't bullshit.
That's
He
right.
sat up here and he was like, oh, you're doing the show? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you in shape? Oh, you look like this? Top 2 to top 4. That was it. I was like, oh, shit. Okay. Say less. I was humble. I was like, I appreciate that. Thank you. And what happened? Let it be so. Ben had, and it's another part. Ben had my back through the league to the most. And now I know it wasn't like a crazy lot of situations I was in, but shoot, even last year before Pittsburgh, he had me winning that show.
Wow.
He saw my check-in the day before the show or the morning of the show, and he went on Coach's Corner and was like, you should win. I was like, this is your show to win. I was like, damn, I didn't even know the episode was going on. People were sending me screenshots, messaging me saying, yo, Ben Quill's talking about you on Coach's Corner. I was like, damn. I was like, I didn't know. So it was just one of those, one of those moments. So yeah, man.
Nah.
Bodybuilding, a lot of people go through a lot of stuff in bodybuilding. And some people just gotta, understand that sometime and not take advantage of certain situations and making it about them.
Yeah.
People make a lot of stuff about them and don't know what other people are actually going through. If you are going through something, just keep going, because a lot of times I felt like I was like, I might as well just stop now. I might as well just eat what I want, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to make it to the show. Like, this is it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so
it was
glad.
just a shame. It was just a shame, because I was like, when you're really good friends with somebody, you don't expect them to come at you like that over what was said, which was, I already said the words to y'all, like simple camaraderie, challenging each other. That was it. Didn't say no words and talk down about nobody. Oh, then say, oh, you got a hernia, this down to third, blah, blah, blah. Alex Topham loves to play doctor. I told Alex, I'm like, you keep talking about my hernia, you go give me $4,000 to go get it fixed, because stop talking about it. Because no judge, I went to Tyler, went in front of Bill, went in front of Bernadette, went in front of Steve, not a single one of them. And I went to see Steve in person. Went to see Steve in person before New York last year. And I believe it was before Pittsburgh as well. I have the same freaking body, same thing. He's like, no one has ever said to me anything about my hernia at all, because you don't notice it. It's not really much of a thing. It's like a little bump above my belly button. Like, you're like making it seem like I have this distended knob that's just hanging out like a doorknob or some shit. I'm like, yeah, cut that all the way out, please. Unless you're a doctor, stop talking about medical things that aren't a factor. Because Drew knows what my critiques are. I tell my critiques all the time. Darn well that wasn't even a inkling in any judge's mind, especially when people, they know the judges watch NPR. So I'm like, you're trying to sabotage me. Don't play with me. I see the bullshit.
Bro, we're glad you came on to the show, man. And Phil was just saying it's been great to hear your side of the story, because all of us were pretty much wondering where the chatter was coming from on that episode of NPR that you're talking about.
Mhm.
And hopefully at the end of the day, athletes can be brothers and brothers in arms and figure it all out at the end of the day, and come together. But everyone's at a different place in their lives, from an emotional intelligence perspective, and just in terms of how they prepare for shows and deal with losses and wins and all that. So, one thing Bruce Lee, Muhammad Ali always said is, it's in the losses that make me a winner.
Mhm.
You have to learn to lose in order to learn how to win. And hopefully, everybody who's listening to this takes a little piece of that with them and becomes a better version of themselves. So
Right.
yeah, it's been awesome to speak with you, my man.
I appreciate that. Thank you guys for having me on. This was an amazing experience. Thank you.
One of many, bro.
I might see you on stage at some point in 26.
I
Let's
hope
see.
so. I hope so. Shoot, my coach competed with me at Pittsburgh, so I was hype as hell when me and him got on stage with each
That's
other.
fire.
cool.
That's
Yeah.
dope. Yeah.
That's dope.
It was honestly great. It was honestly great. I was like, he's going to start doing just masters now, but he's like, he retired from the Open, but he's definitely he's definitely going to be doing master shows and doing
Oh,
that.
nice.
So excited for him.
Yeah, I do both. I'm like, let's get after it. Let me see where everybody's at. Let me see where I'm at, really. That's what it's about.
And yeah, that's what he loved to do too. He loved to challenge himself and see where he's at with us. So I was like, this is great. This is
Yeah.
great.
Well, thanks again, man. Thanks for coming on the show. Boys, this was a great show.
It's a great
That was
show.
awesome. Thanks, Jordan, bro. Appreciate you, bro.
Of course.
Come
I
on next
appreciate
year.
you guys. Thank you.
Come on in
Thank you.
2026 a few times, bro, because you're gonna be killing it.
Oh, well, oh yeah, 100%. 100%. Let me know. I'll shoot you guys a message if you want me on. So yeah, just let me know.
Yeah.
We'd
Awesome.
love to have you back,
Yeah.
man. We'd love to.
One last thing before you go. When you know the show that you're going to do, when you know your next show, hit Hart, Phil, myself up. Let us know, because we want to talk. We want to talk about that.
All right, bet. All right, I got you
Okay.
guys. Appreciate
bet.
that.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
Jordan. Thanks for
Take care,
coming on,
brother.
bro.
All right. Of course, brother. Thank you.
Peace.
Thanks, man.
Let's have a good one.